Adjusted the aiming accuracy for the TAS KS-23 carbine. This is the greatest patch known to man. Brothers and sisters of the pre-wipe, the end is now. The servers have officially been taken down. We have patch notes. I haven't read them yet. So let's do that together, shall we? Okay. Newsy news. Newsy news. Newsy news. Newsy news. Newsy news. Good morning, everyone. My name is Onepeg. It is 3:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is why I look so sleepy. But we have patch notes. This morning, BSG at 3 a.m. took the servers down. And I've zoomed in on the patch notes so that we can all read them together. Patch 12.12.30. We present the patch notes. There will be a wipe with the patch. Expanded the lighthouse location. Added the ability to visit the island where the lighthouse is located. And also added new interiors inside the water treatment plant facility complex. New interiors. So this makes me wonder, it could be the same buildings, but a lot of the doors now have rooms in them, perhaps. Added 3 new bosses. The commanders of the ex-USEC PMC group known as Rogues. The leader of the gang is Knight, who coordinates the actions of the entire group and specializes in assault operations. Bird Eye maintains distance between him and the enemy, setting up ambushes and choosing positions with a clear line of sight to the area. Big Pipe prefers the grenade launcher and serves the role of massive firepower in battle and always rushes toward the enemy to reach combat distance. Bosses maintain contact with each other and with other rogues. However, they don't stick together and instead keep their positioning distances. When an enemy is detected by any of the bosses or rogues, information on an enemy location is transmitted to everyone by radio, and the bosses prepare for battle, taking up tactical positions for engagement. The bosses are not individual. The bosses are always traveling together, albeit they have a distance between them. No matter where we find them, they will always be in a group of 3. Bosses help each other, use all available weapons, and are hostile to everyone. Players of any faction, scavs, and raiders. They don't communicate with the rest of the bosses and fence, so they attack any enemy immediately. Killing them does not affect rep. The bosses' habitats are lighthouse, shoreline woods, and customs. They do not stay in one place and instead wander through these locations all the time. If the bosses have moved to one of the maps, they will be absent on others. There is no timetable for their movement, and no one knows what the bosses are guided by when changing their location. So we saw this already with the lore that was released, where rogues were located on each one of these 4 maps during events in the past. Pretty cool. But apparently there's no reason or rhyme that we know of as of yet. Personally, I believe that we'll find a pattern. It's just a matter of logging it and figuring out what that pattern is. Number 3, added offline co-op game mode. This game mode is only available to players who purchased the EOD pre-order edition. We've already talked about this. I wasn't a big fan of this, but I understand the logic behind it because of the extra server capacity needed, etc. Added co-op mode checkbox in the game mode selection screen. In co-op mode, all settings for bots, bosses, time, and weather are identical to online raids. Progress in co-op raids is not saved, and the gear taken to such raids won't be lost upon death. Starter's group checkbox allows all players in the group to spawn together in the center of the location. With the checkbox unticked, all players will spawn like in the online mode. The number of players in a group for the co-op mode has been increased and depends on the maximum number of players in the selected location. They did say that there would be up to 11 players available, but this looks like it's based on the maximum player cap for each map. So there should be the ability to do an offline mode for the player cap, it appears, that's pretty cool. That's something we didn't know yet. The number of co-op servers may be limited under heavy loads. In this case, on the group gathering screen, you will see a message saying high load on practice mode servers. This message means that finding a server for co-op raids may take longer than usual. So now we know that there is a limit to the server capacity, and we may end up in a queue for a while. That could end up being a buggy situation, but, at least we have it to use. Over time, obviously, it'll die down, but it's probably going to be overloaded to hell like all of the servers will be for the first few days, maybe 2 weeks, because that happens every wipe. Reworked movement animations. Updated the animations for character movement, jumps, and stances. Added new breathing animations, melee attack animations, weapon drawing, and holstering. Added sprint animations that change depending on weapon type and their length, meaning the gun's length. Added rotations and tilts of the body when moving and sprinting. The lower the speed / position of the player, the lower the tilt of the body during turns and vice versa. Implemented weapon operations during sprints, in particular the ability to switch to another weapon, switch fire mode, check magazine and chamber, folding and unfolding, inspection, and reloading. Fixed third-person weapon twisting while prone when lying on the side. So that wasn't like a major bug, but I'm glad that they've done something with all the animations. That was something we desperately needed. Add a daily task for player scavs. The tasks will be given out by Fence once a day, and they will be available after building the intelligence center in the hideout, regardless of the PMC character level. Before you're able to get a daily player scav task, you have to build the intelligence center for, I guess, level 1 intelligence center. So now we know that doesn't happen until we get that done. Pretty cool. Added a new type of daily task, searching for items from a category such as food, medicine, weapons, etc. All items will need to be found in one raid. So now we have a single raid task for a daily. Have to find X amount of items inside of a single raid. Added slots for special items in the PMC's inventory, in which you can put a compass and a rangefinder, Wi-Fi camera, a marker, and other special items. Items in special slots are not lost upon death. They also cannot be looted from bodies. To activate an item from a special slot, you need to assign a key on it in the quick access panel. Okay, so the special slot stuff, we had been teased. It's a 1x3 section on the PMC's like inventory screen now, where like they said, it can't be looted and you can put those special items. So this way, markers and whatever don't end up taking secure container slots, and you aren't likely to lose them as readily with them sitting in your backpack. Added a flare gun and single-shot reactive flare rounds with lighting and flare ammo. Shooting red signal flares will call in a plane with an airdrop to fly to the nearest possible location. So it's not something where the airdrop is going to happen where the flare went off, but close to it. Probably some key locations nearby where they would drop them. Updated the airdrop mechanics. Added 4 types of containers with unique contents: weapon, medicine, supplies, and general purpose. Added countermeasure flares when flying in and dropping the container. Updated the plane flying trajectories and decreased the engine sound volume. So they reduced the engine sound volume, which is something that we've all been asking for because of how loud those planes got. We also saw some of these new animations where the plane comes in, and as it's getting ready to drop the item, it has all of this chaff that goes off behind it. It drops the crate, and then you see it take like a hard bank as if it's trying to make sure it doesn't get dropped by a surface-to-air missile or something. Pretty cool, actually, watching it come in. Also, we knew that there was going to be 4 different types of flares because we saw those different flare types inside of the inventory of the PMC when they did the podcast and showed us all these teasers. Added tasks for the new Lighthouse territories. Very nice. Updated the base clothing models for USEC and Bear PMCs. Added new head models for USEC and Bear PMCs. Added new weapons and customization for them. The Benelli M3 Super 90. The AXMC sniper rifle, that's our 338 Lapua, the one gun I want more than anything this wipe. The MP18 single-shot meme rifle, that's the break-action single-shot 54R with the iron sights on it. Like, that looks like it would be hilarious to use. The RD704, the SAG AK carbine, that's going to be sick. The HKG36, of which we were told it was all variants of the HKG36. The MGL M32A1 revolver grenade launcher. Big pipes gun. Reworked the animations for the 133 and MP9. Nice. Added a new model, animations and modifications for the SV98. Added new equipment and items, which we knew was going to be in there. Changed the bonuses for the perception skill. Now, hearing radius increases by 0.3% per level until 15% for max. Before this change, the hearing radius increased by 0.7 and up to 35%. One of the things that we've been noticing or had been talking about with perception was the distance increase that perception allowed you to be able to hear things from was way too high. This is good. This is a good change. We needed this. Change the inertia speed and force when leaning. Oh. It looks like we got the inertia tweaks that we have been asking for. Added new outfits for both PMC factions. Added new crafting recipes in the hideout. Reworked elite metabolism. Now with 0 hydration and energy, you will not receive any thirst and hunger damage, but still receive other negative effects. Before this change, there were no negative effects at all. Reworked the elite strength effect. Now weapons equipped on sling on back, and in the holster become weightless. All other equipment and item weight in chest rigs, backpacks, pouches, and secure containers is counted normally. Before this change, all equipment and weapons were weightless. One of the most OP aspects of having the 51 strength perk was you would go from 50 strength having, I guess, negative inertia effects when you were moving around to 51, which suddenly meant that you were Superman because of how much extra stuff you could carry. The builds that you were able to pull off were kind of absurd. You will still be able to do that, it looks like, with body armor and whatnot if you have elite strength. It just won't be like that drastic of a difference. And it needed to get a little bit of a nerf hit to it, honestly. That was crazy. Okay, graphical improvements. AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution, FSR. Reminder, FSR is AMD's version of DLSS, but you're still able to use it if you have an NVIDIA card. So maybe try it. Temporarily disabled the ability to enable MIP streaming in the graphics settings. We're currently reworking this function and will re-enable it in nearest updates. Updated NVIDIA Reflex version. Reworked laser sights for all TAC devices. With IR mode enabled, the lasers and flashlights will not be visible since they're designed for use with NVGs. Also, the intensity and brightness of standard non-IR lasers has been increased. So normal lasers are going to be brighter. Again, this is like the third time they've made lasers brighter. And now we won't be able to see the light red hue with IR stuff, which is good. We should have had that all along. So that's nice. Added new voices for Bear and USEC. One of them is the broken English Bear voice, which is sweet. Added new sounds of movement on top of various surface types. Okay. Added sounds for weapon dropping on various surfaces. Added sounds of bodies collapsing after death and sounds of transition to prone. And then we have general bug fixes, and we'll just kind of go down these rapid fire. Added a perk icon for hand stamina to the endurance skill. Added sorting table button to mail and task reward screens. So that's huge, actually. This makes things, people that have stuff stashes, a lot better. The trajectory of the AGS projectile no longer changes when the scope is moved. Adjusted the aiming accuracy for the TAS KS-23 carbine. This is the greatest patch known to man. Added inertia when quickly tapping the AD keys. There's something. For the people that are like trying to like really jiggle back and forth hard, adding inertia while quickly tapping the AD keys, that's going to be kind of huge for people. They're not going to like that at all, especially at low strength. That one might get a lot of complaints. Rogues are now aggressive toward USEC players who killed them in past raids. So it was supposed to be that for like 3, 5, 6 raids, whatever it was, rogues were supposed to remain aggressive toward USEC players if USECs had shot and killed them in the past. For whatever reason, midway through the patch, that ended up being reset on raid start. So if you were a USEC, you got to kind of just run around like crazy on that map and never got shot at again. This way, it will make rogues aggressive toward USEC and Bear the same if a USEC had killed a rogue even relatively recently. This will end up leveling the playing field between USEC and Bear the moment that a USEC kills a rogue. So that's a good change. We needed that. Fix a number of issues related to the calculation of inertia, allowing players to bypass or reduce it. Checkmate, atheists. So this video ended up running maybe like 15 minutes or so. I want to say thank you to everyone that decided to stop by. As soon as this video is live, I will be live on twitch.tv/Onepeg for a little bit of a waiting room. We'll be able to hang out together until the patch is up. We'll go run around and shoot some pew-pews. Okay? Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you for all of your eyeballs. Thank you for being here. Come by and say hi. It'll be great to see y'all. And if you can't make it, please consider following me on my socials at OnePegMG, or maybe even give me a sub here. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.